are we gradually getting a clear idea about India's 11 for Edgbaston? That's what Gargi and I will talk about in this particular broadcast. Because the updates that you have already heard from Shubhayan today, who covered the India practice session, are 5. 1. Shardul and Nitish Kumar Reddy bowled full throttle. 2. We have seen no Jasprit Bumrah, no Prasidh Krishna, no Mohammad Siraj. So clearly, these bowlers are getting more rest. 3. Arshdeep Singh and Kuldeep Yadav going full on. 4. We have seen Ryan Tendish-Carter taking Mohammad Siraj on a batting trip and getting him to practice against the shorter balls. And 5. This is absolutely essential. India did a lot of fielding training as well. Now, when you hear that an Arshdeep Singh and a Kuldeep Yadav going full on, and you are hearing that Jasprit Bumrah doing just the running drills, is this indication enough of what we've been saying for the last couple of days, that Arshdeep Singh and Akashdeep, the two people who bowled full throttle, are actually in contention for that Jasprit Bumrah spot?
I honestly think so, because we've also been hearing all these reports about Jasprit Bumrah not playing in the second test match and pushing himself for a Lord's test match or a Lord's participation. So I think when you really look at the entire scenario, when you look at the entire picture and what you need in Birmingham, if you're resting a Jasprit Bumrah, obviously, and we've seen this kind of pattern happening before the first match as well. We saw that there was a pattern when it comes to the training sessions. Anyone who was bowling or batting intensely did make it to the team eventually. So if you're looking at it, I think the fact that Kuldeep Yadav was bowling in the nets along with Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar. Now, when it comes to these spinners, you can't really tell who's going to make it. Ravindra Jadeja might as well make it. Kuldeep Yadav could make it as well, since we don't need that cushion in that batting anymore. Maybe a Shardul Thakur goes out. But when it comes to the bowlers, I think when we look back ahead of the first match, those two practice sessions, if I'm not wrong, Arshdeep Singh did not bowl too much.
No, and he was not bowling in the main net.
Exactly, he was bowling in the other net. But today, Arshdeep Singh and Akashdeep were bowling in the
Akashdeep wasn't even bowling much because he had that niggle at that point in time. Something that Gautam did not mention, but it was evident to us all that it was Akashdeep he was talking about, which is why Harshit Rana had been asked to stay back. Now Harshit Rana has been released. The other point, Gargi, very, very important point. We've touched about the Bumrah point yesterday also, and it's now getting gradually clear where the think tank is headed. At least they're keeping options ready. Let's put it that way. They're keeping options ready. But the other point where I'm very pleased to hear is that Ryan Tendish-Carter took Mohammad Siraj for a separate batting session. Now that tail has to perform.
Absolutely.
That tail has to score. Siraj was out to a short ball, trying to pull. The ball got big on him. He was caught by Jamie Smith down leg stump. And then the next ball, Jasprit Bumrah got bowled. Now, that's where India lost the game for me. When the tail in both innings, 7, 8, 9, 10 runs or 15 runs, that is where England won the match. First innings, 100. And look at how Jamie Smith performed in the second innings along with Joe Root. So that's where I absolutely think, whether it's Kuldeep, whether it's Arshdeep, whether it's Siraj, whether it's anybody else, you have to put, you get a jaffer of a delivery, I've got no problems. But you cannot play an expensive shot and get out. I've got a problem with that. You've got to put a price on your wicket and try and contribute as much as possible.
Look, first of all, when you really look at it, when you compare the England tail versus the India tail, there's a stark difference. And this could mean a difference between a win and a loss. And that's exactly what happened. England came out in both the innings. The tail performed so well. And it was almost like that they were pure batters, the kind of shots that they were playing, the kind of bowlers that they were facing. They were facing a Jasprit Bumrah. And at one point, Chris Wokes was hitting cover drives and straight drives to Jasprit Bumrah. So when you compare the quality of the batsmanship between the two teams, of the tail enders, there's a stark difference. And Shubman Gill himself came out in that press conference ahead of that test and spoke about how important lower order contributions are and how much they frustrate the opposition. Unfortunately, India struggles with making those contributions and also struggles with breaking the opposite lower order partnerships. So you're struggling when
two ways.
Exactly, it goes both ways, and this is where the difference lies between an England team and an India team. England bats till 9, India bats till 7 or 8 maximum. And if you're going to put out a Shardul Thakur and get in a Kuldeep Yadav, then you only bat till 7, so 6. So you really...
Seven with Nitish,
yes, yes, with Nitish. So you really have to think about the fact, and the management will also have to really put in the hard yards and make sure that, these bowlers are going out, or the all-rounders are going out with the intention of actually making any runs. You're not just going out there to swing the bat. And that's what we saw. Prasidh Krishna, that shot was unnecessary, especially when Ravindra Jadeja was actually staying at the other end. So Prasidh Krishna had no business playing that shot. Even Mohammad Siraj, he was just swinging his bat around. So when you really think about it, India needs to make sure that those lower order contributions are coming.
Very, very important point made, because if you see the tail and the lower middle order, if they don't contribute, England's getting a 100-run advantage every time. And when it's a 100-run advantage, you're actually giving them that handicap, the top order. They'll have to make up for that 100 runs every time they go out on the park. It's not going to be easy. So even if you put in that extra effort and pick 3-4 wickets up front, you're talking about that lower middle order which you have to dislodge. In India's case, they're just a run over. So that's where it becomes absolutely paramount. Now coming to the fact that Jasprit Bumrah, Prasidh Krishna, Mohammad Siraj did not bowl. I understand Mohammad Siraj's workload because he has to take a lot of workload. Even Prasidh bowled a lot. But as far as Prasidh Krishna is concerned, assuming he plays, I want to see him improve as well. Somebody who can bowl like that, at the same time bowls boundary balls every over. Gautam Gambhir talks about inexperience here. But Prasidh Krishna has been around for a long time. Travelled to South Africa, travelled to Australia, travelled to England. IPL, he's been playing several years. He's no longer a rookie. Even in terms of age, he's been around international cricket. Time Prasidh Krishna puts his hand up and takes that responsibility of being the premier bowler.
Look, even when we talk generally about experience, I think experience means something very different to Indian cricketers versus maybe an English or an Australian cricketer, because in India, to get to that playing 11, you have to play so much that you're already more experienced than half of the international players. Prasidh Krishna has played the IPL, like you explained, has been playing for a long time. South Africa tour, the Australia tour. He's not a rookie. He's not an amateur. He's not making his debut. He's been here for a very, very long time. And if discipline is something that he struggles with, then that's a huge concern for India. Because it's not like he does not have the ability. It's not like he does not have the skills.
Someone who could bowl that ball to Ollie Pope.
Exactly.
Someone who could bowl a couple of balls to Steve Smith and to Joe Root.
Yeah.
And to Zach Crawley, the ball that swings late. He's got the ability. Nobody's doubting it.
He absolutely has the ability.
But I have an issue to a degree. So Gautam's press conference. At one level, Gautam said, so what if it's a young team? Don't talk about experience and youth. The loss is a loss. It's not about a young team losing. It's an Indian team losing. Fair point. And I buy that point that, boss, experience doesn't matter. An Indian team is out there. On the other hand, when it comes to bowlers, he said, except Bumrah and Siraj, there is a lot of inexperience. So you cannot say inexperience and then say a young team is losing. For me, an Indian team is out there. You are the one who's taking the call as the head coach. You are the one who's taken the call here. You've got a Siraj. You've got an Akashdeep. You've got an Arshdeep. Arshdeep is the one you've picked. So it's not as if you don't have... Akashdeep played in Australia. You had a Harshit Rana who's now been set back. He was the one in Australia. So you've picked these players. You are the one who's taking these calls.
Yes. You also had a Shubman Gill talking about that we have no baggage. That the English side has been calling us inexperienced and very young. So we have no baggage and we're going out there with a nothing to lose sort of attitude. So what is it? Are you inexperienced or not? Are you a young side or not? I
don't think any of this matters. I do, because how many test matches has Bryden Cast played? How many test matches has Josh Tongue played?
He's making an impact.
Exactly. You have the ability, you go make impact. That's what test cricket offers you. It's an opportunity. Put your hand up, go deliver. Don't get these kind of conditions back in India. Put your hand up. And by the way, we are in Oxford, Gargi and I. We are sitting right in front of the Oxford University Cricket Club. She was doing a story inside. There are multiple plaques which has Tiger Pataudi and his father referenced here at the Oxford University Cricket Club. Both of them played for Oxford, one in the 1930s, one in the 1960s. You can watch that story on Rev Sports. So look at this. It's warm. Birmingham is warm. It's a hot build-up. It's going to be a really warm, dry, hot build-up to the test match. That means the wicket will be dry. Kuldeep Yadav will come into play. Do you envisage a Kuldeep Yadav finally coming into play? Yesterday, we were standing there when they were walking. That guy can pick wickets.
Absolutely.
That guy has the ability. Jamie Smith has never played left-arm wrist spin. Play that guy. Don't go. England doesn't play defensive cricket.
No.
You will not beat England by being defensive.
No.
You have to also play aggressive, attacking cricket to beat England.
Also, when we really look at the England setup and Indian bowling as well, what is the number one concern that we had in that first test match? We kept on talking about pressure. We kept on talking about discipline and bowling those tight lines. You said that Jasprit Bumrah is the only one putting on pressure from one end and the other bowlers lose it from the others. Now, look at what Ravindra Jadeja was doing in that test. Even though everything about that test match or those conditions was against Ravindra Jadeja. Overcast conditions. Yes, the pitch was giving him some purchase, and he was getting that ball to turn on day 3 as well. But at the same time, if you really look at it, you've got a Ravindra Jadeja from one end who's bowling these tight lines, who's bowling quick overs and sort of breaking that rhythm, not giving the English batters time. You also put in a Kuldeep Yadav on the other end. And now you actually have a bowling partnership that puts pressure from both ends, that is not releasing pressure. When you talk about a Kuldeep Yadav, you know he's going to bowl disciplined lines. You know he's going to get over those overs very quickly and not give the batters any time. So if you're talking about pressure, if that's your concern when it comes to bowling, especially with the Jasprit Bumrah not playing, have a Kuldeep Yadav in your team.
And I think Kuldeep is a wicket taker.
Absolutely.
Kuldeep, with the one that wrong one that comes in. He is at the top of his game. Mentally, he's up there. Watch our interview. In fact, I would request whoever our editor is to kind of play that little clip from that long Kuldeep Yadav interview at the end of this show, where he talks about the England mindset. He spoke at length that mentally he's now up there. He's able to read. He kept talking about the fact that England plays baseball, which will give him an opportunity. England plays baseball, which will give Kuldeep Yadav that opportunity to get under the batter's skin and take that wicket. India, look boss, even if you get 1,000 runs, you have to take 20 wickets to win a test match.
Yeah.
Unless you take 20 wickets, you're not winning a test match. You can score 1,000 runs. India scored 850 runs in Leeds and you still lost that test match. It's as simple as that. Who's your bowler to pick your 20 wickets? Decide on that. Gautam was asked this question. I think that's where Kuldeep Yadav becomes an absolute necessity. Your last words on this show.
I think, look, biggest example, if we're continuing on the Kuldeep Yadav point, and I will, if we're talking about the biggest example when it comes to baseball and Kuldeep Yadav reading the batters well, Ben Duckett having such a difficult time leaving those deliveries. He wants to play everything. He wants to play everything. And if Kuldeep Yadav can get an edge or two, which he will, I think it's one of the biggest trump cards you can have in your team. And we've spoken to multiple cricket pundits and experts. We've spoken to Michael Clarke, Brad Hogg and many others. And every single person has said, have Kuldeep Yadav in every single team of yours. And he will be the trump card. He will be the game changer.
Agree. Harry Brook, watch that India series, how he struggled against spin. You get in this guy. England doesn't play quality left-arm wrist spin. Give him the opportunity. He's going to be a wicket taker. We can advocate absolutely in these dry conditions, really dry conditions in the next 3 days. There'll be hardly any rain. Kuldeep Yadav can be an absolute ace for India. Thanks very much for watching. We leave you with what Kuldeep Yadav said about baseball and how he will tackle that. Thanks for watching.
मैं मेंटली बहुत उतना रिलैक्स हूँ। बहुत मैं सोचता हूँ कि जो मेरी स्ट्रेंथ है, मैं उसको ही हमेशा सोचता हूँ कि वो मेरी स्ट्रेंथ रही है। और जो मेरा अटैकिंग माइंडसेट रहा है, वो मैं कभी उसको छेड़ता नहीं हूँ। मैं वो हमेशा वैसे ही रखता हूँ। और ऑब्वियसली आप जब ओवरसीज में खेलते हो तो मैं नहीं सोचता इतना। मुझे नहीं लगता कि क्योंकि बचपन से मैंने सीमेंट विकेट पे प्रैक्टिस की है और टर्फ हमारे बचपन में उतना मिला नहीं। जब मैंने यंग एज में स्टार्ट की तो सीमेंट में बॉल डाल के बड़ा हुआ हूँ। और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब आप ओवरसीज खेलते हैं तो आपके रेव्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं। आप बॉल को कितना स्पिन कर रहे हैं वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। और सारी जो स्पिनर्स की सारी कला जो होती है, सारी जो आर्ट होती है, वो हवा में होती है। अगर आपका बॉल डिप और ड्रिफ्ट होने लगा तो आप कहीं भी खेल रहे हो, चाहे इंडिया में खेल रहे हो, कहीं भी खेल रहे हो, वो उतना ही इफेक्ट डालती है। और मैं बहुत एंजॉय करता हूँ, कहीं भी खेलूँ, इंडिया में खेलूँ, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में खेलूँ, कहीं भी। और मेरे जितने भी मैंने वनडे खेले हैं, काफी टेस्ट मैच भी जो ओवरसीज खेले हैं काफी अच्छे रहे हैं। और इवन वनडे वगैरह भी बहुत अच्छे गए हैं मेरे। तो मुझे अच्छा लगता है खेलना। और मेरे लिए मैं इतना सोचता नहीं हूँ विकेट्स के बारे में। बट कंडीशंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, स्पेशली इंग्लैंड में कंडीशंस बहुत अलग होते हैं। बस उसको अडेप्ट करना है, और वो ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि वहां पे जाके कंडीशंस को समझना, हवा किस तरफ चल रही है, कैसा फ्लो है विंड का, उसके हिसाब से। ये छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं, बट मुझे लगता है कि आप जैसे जैसे खेलते रहते हैं ये आप सीख